We're taking a look at what's happening today in Louisville, Kentucky. They're going to bury Muhammad Ali, the former Cassius Clay, the local kid who made good and basically became the most famous person in the world. And as he would say, Roy Firestone, one of the most famous people of all
time.
All times.
I don't think we can argue that.
I don't know that I can put into words what he meant to me. I mean, I really don't. My very first interview ever, we talked about this before, you know this for years and years, was Muhammad Ali. I was 21, going to be 22 years old.
Wow.
Look at this picture. This is the Miami International Airport. That's May Ali that he's holding, who is now, I think, what, 50, almost 50.
80 years old.
Yeah, she's 80. Yeah. But I walked in the room. He recognized me because I used to shoot Bell and Hal film of his training. And he said to me, "What's your name?" And I said, "Roy." He goes, "You call me boy?" And of course, he always, for that point on, for 45 years, "There's the guy who called me boy," right? And he did that as long as he could do it until he didn't speak anymore. But I mean, probably 35 or 40 years.
He had a good memory because every time
But he knew me from Miami because I'm from Miami Beach. That was, by the way, the setting for both the Beatles coming to Miami Beach and Clay Liston in the same week on the Ed Sullivan Show. The Beatles were appearing and Liston was fighting Clay.
And there you are in the middle of all of it.
And that within 3 blocks of my house.
All right, we've talked about this a lot. I mean, I knew Ali. You knew him better than I did. This little one here was
interviewed Ali at how old?
I was 11.
11.
I mean, I don't know if we can call it an interview because he wasn't speaking then, but had the opportunity to meet him and tell his story.
There are so many sides to Ali. There's a tendency now just to forget the history of Ali.
I can't forget. Most people can't forget. I have a couple pictures I want to share. First of all, this is a picture of me on stage. Ali surprised me on stage. I do a bit all over the country. People may know this about Ali. And he had heard in this hotel in Anaheim that I was doing this. And you know what? He showed up right behind me. I heard the crowd shriek. And I went, wow, I'm doing really well with this story, right? And it was Ali behind me. Wow. And there he is on stage. This is about 1990, I suppose. But the thing that I'm really proudest of in all the years, we did a ton of fundraisers for Parkinson's, was one night we did a show in Arizona, Phoenix, for Parkinson's. And it wasn't, believe me, it wasn't just me. It was David Foster and Reba McEntire, Josh Groban. But there's a picture I think we're going to show, Josh, if you have it, of me on stage with Ali, where we raised, I say we, he raised $5 million for Parkinson's in 20 minutes.
And at this point, there you are, there's Lonnie, his wife, and there he is. And Roy, you know at this point, he didn't have much in terms of what he could express.
He couldn't really speak at all, and he could barely lift his head up. 15 years of that, too. Let's not forget. He was pretty much an invalid. He used the wheelchair, didn't like to be seen in a wheelchair.
Question for you about that. He was out all the time doing events.
Amazing.
And I would look at that and say, does he really want to be doing this?
I think what he'd end up doing is he raised so much money, maybe $100 to $200 million for Parkinson's over the years, that he felt an obligation to do it, But I want to show the folks, this is maybe one of the proudest moments. This was in Phoenix, Arizona, when I introduced Ali on stage. Take a look.
My great honor to introduce Muhammad and Lonnie Ali.
What was really touching about it, do a story, it's on YouTube, called The Ali Story, if you want to watch it. It's about an old man and Ali, and I told that story. It's very moving, very emotional to me, and he came back out from behind me. So,
and I know we're running out of time for this. I just want to bring up again, very quickly, back when he wouldn't go into the draft, everybody in the military hated him. Half of America, more than that, hated him. Saw him as anti-American, anti-military, etc. And then You have been at events where...
Most of the places I ever go, especially in the Deep South, where they hated him. They even tell me they hated him. I hated that SOB in the 60s. Mm-hmm. I love him now. Yeah. Why is that? I said because...
Veterans of foreign wars.
Because people understood now how authentic he really was and how he believed. And plus, he was charming and he was lovable, and yet he was courageous and he uplifted people. The most important thing about a champion, and I say this in my show a lot, is the ability to uplift another human being. That's what makes a champion. Uplift your teammates, uplift the world. That's that's what Ali did. He uplifted the world, and that's what made him the greatest of
All
all
right,
time.
we're going to go, but coming up at right after this show, 10 o'clock, you and I are going to sit. We'll go on Facebook Live,
Right.
and we'll talk more about Ali.
You both have stories.
Oh, yeah.
I shook up the world. He sure did. He really shook up the world.